Wipro, from cooking oil to global IT services giant. In the bustling city of Bombay in 1945, a young entrepreneur named Mohamed Premji had a simple vision. He wanted to build a company that would produce vegetable oil and sell it across Western India. Armed with determination and a modest investment, he founded Western India Vegetable Products Limited, borrowing money to set up a small oil mill in Amalner, Maharashtra. The company's first product was sunflower vanaspati, a hydrogenated vegetable oil that would become a household staple across Indian kitchens. Premji chose the name carefully, reflecting both the geographical focus and the product line that would define the company's early years. Little did he know that this humble beginning would eventually transform into one of the world's most successful technology services companies, generating revenues that would exceed $20 billion by the turn of the millennium. The story of Wipro is not just about business transformation, it's about visionary leadership, strategic pivoting, and the courage to abandon a profitable traditional business for an uncertain technological future. What makes this transformation even more remarkable is that it was driven by a 21-year-old college dropout who inherited the company under tragic circumstances and had the audacity to reimagine its entire purpose. The early years of Western India vegetable products were marked by steady growth and regional expansion. Mohamed Premji built a reputation for quality products and reliable distribution, establishing the company as a trusted brand in the cooking oil market across Maharashtra and Gujarat. The business model was straightforward but effective, sourcing raw materials from local farmers, processing them in their facilities, and distributing the finished products through a network of dealers and retailers. By the early 1960s, the company had expanded its product line to include laundry soap, hair care products, and other consumer goods, diversifying beyond the original vegetable oil business while maintaining its core focus on household essentials. The Wipro brand, shortened from Western India products, was becoming synonymous with quality and reliability in middle class Indian homes. Revenue growth was consistent, and the company was generating healthy profits that were reinvested into expanding manufacturing capacity and distribution networks. However, this period of steady growth would come to an abrupt end in 1966 when Mohamed Premji suffered a fatal heart attack while traveling in Switzerland. His son Azim, just 21 years old and studying electrical engineering at Stanford University, received the devastating news that would change both his life and the trajectory of the company forever. The young Azim faced a choice that would define the next chapter of the Wipro story: abandon his studies and return to India to take over the family business, or allow the company to be sold or managed by others. Azim Premji made the decision that would prove to be one of the most consequential in Indian business history. He left Stanford University, abandoning his engineering degree just months before graduation, and returned to India to assume control of Wipro. The young leader inherited a company with annual revenues of approximately $2 million, a solid but unremarkable position in the consumer goods market. What Azim brought to the business was a combination of technical curiosity, strategic thinking, and an unwavering commitment to excellence that would become the hallmark of his leadership style. His first major decision was to maintain the existing operations while exploring opportunities for growth and diversification, recognizing that the consumer goods market, while stable, had limited potential for the kind of expansion he envisioned. Premji spent his initial years learning every aspect of the business, from manufacturing processes to distribution logistics, building relationships with suppliers, dealers, and customers, while simultaneously studying market trends and identifying potential areas for expansion. He implemented rigorous quality control measures and invested in modern manufacturing equipment, establishing a foundation of operational excellence that would serve the company well in its future transformations. By 1970, under his leadership, Wipro had expanded into new product categories, including toiletries and lighting products, demonstrating the young leader's appetite for diversification and growth. The 1970s marked the beginning of Wipro's transformation from a traditional consumer goods company into a technology focused enterprise. Azim Premji recognized that India's economic landscape was changing, and he began investing in new business areas that would position Wipro for future growth. In 1975, the company made its first major strategic pivot by entering the information technology market, establishing a joint venture with an American company to manufacture mini computers in India. This decision was revolutionary for several reasons. India's technology market was virtually non existent. Importing computers required complex government approvals due to restrictive trade policies.
and most Indian companies were focused on traditional manufacturing or trading businesses rather than high technology products. Premji's vision was to build indigenous technology capabilities that could serve both domestic and international markets, a concept that was decades ahead of its time. The company invested heavily in research and development, hiring engineers and technicians who could develop and manufacture sophisticated electronic products. By 1977, Wipro had successfully launched its first computer, marking the beginning of what would become one of India's most successful technology companies. The transition wasn't without challenges. The technology business required significantly higher capital investments, longer development cycles, and more specialized talent than the traditional consumer goods operations. But Premji was committed to building Wipro's technology capabilities regardless of the short term costs. The 1980s witnessed Wipro's accelerated transformation into a technology powerhouse. The company expanded its computing business, developing a range of products including personal computers, workstations, and software applications that served both government and private sector customers. Azim Premji made another critical strategic decision during this period. He began building Wipro's software development capabilities, recognizing that software would become increasingly important as businesses worldwide began adopting computer systems. In 1982, Wipro established its software development division, initially focused on creating applications for its own hardware products but gradually expanding to serve external customers. The company's first major software contract came from an American client who needed custom applications developed at a fraction of the cost that would be required in the United States. This project opened Premji's eyes to the enormous potential of offshore software development, a business model that would eventually become the foundation of India's information technology industry. By 1985, Wipro was generating significant revenues from both hardware manufacturing and software development, with the technology business contributing more than 50% of total company revenues. The transformation was remarkable. In less than 20 years, Azim Premji had successfully repositioned Wipro from a regional consumer goods company into a national technology leader with international ambitions.
The late 1980s and early 1990s represented a period of explosive growth and international expansion for Wipro. Azim Premji recognized that the global technology services market was experiencing unprecedented growth, driven by businesses worldwide seeking to computerize their operations while controlling costs. Wipro established its first international office in 1989, targeting the American market where demand for software development services was growing rapidly. The company's value proposition was compelling. Highly skilled Indian software engineers could deliver the same quality of work as their American counterparts at 30 to 40% of the cost, creating enormous value for clients while generating attractive margins for Wipro. By 1992, international revenues exceeded domestic revenues for the first time, marking Wipro's successful transformation into a global technology services company. The company went public in 1995, raising capital that would fund further expansion and cement Azim Premji's position as one of India's most successful entrepreneurs. The initial public offering was oversubscribed by more than 20 times, reflecting investor confidence in Wipro's growth prospects and business model. Premji retained majority control of the company while using the raised capital to invest in additional development centers, expand the sales organization, and acquire smaller technology companies that would strengthen Wipro's capabilities. By 1995, the company employed more than 8,000 people, with software engineers representing the majority of the workforce, a dramatic change from the manufacturing focused organization of the previous decades. The mid 1990s marked Wipro's emergence as a global leader in information technology services. Azim Premji made a series of strategic decisions that would define the company's future growth trajectory and establish its position as one of the world's premier technology services firms. In 1994, Wipro became one of the first Indian companies to achieve SEI CMM Level 5 certification, the highest quality standard for software development processes, demonstrating its commitment to delivering world-class services to international clients. This certification became a crucial competitive advantage, providing assurance to potential customers that Wipro could deliver complex projects with the same quality and reliability as established American and European technology companies. The company expanded its service offerings beyond custom software development to include consulting, systems integration, and technology infrastructure management,
creating a comprehensive portfolio that could serve clients' complete technology requirements. Wipro established development centers in multiple Indian cities, including Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Pune, building capacity to serve hundreds of concurrent client projects while maintaining its cost advantages. International expansion accelerated with offices opened in the United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and other major markets, bringing Wipro's services closer to clients and enabling more effective relationship management. By 1998, the company was serving more than 300 clients across multiple industries, including financial services, telecommunications, healthcare, and manufacturing, with many of these relationships representing multi-year contracts worth millions of dollars. As the 1990s drew to a close, Wipro had achieved a transformation that seemed almost impossible 3 decades earlier. Under Azim Premji's leadership, the company had evolved from a regional cooking oil manufacturer with annual revenues of $2 million into a global technology services giant generating revenues exceeding $1 billion. The business model had been completely reimagined. Traditional manufacturing had given way to knowledge-based services, regional distribution had been replaced by global delivery capabilities, and a few dozen employees had grown into a workforce of more than 20,000 highly skilled professionals. Premji's strategic vision had proven remarkably prescient. His early investments in technology capabilities positioned Wipro to capitalize on the massive global demand for software development and technology services that emerged during the internet boom of the late 1990s. The company's financial performance reflected this successful transformation. Revenues had grown at a compound annual rate exceeding 30% throughout the 1990s, while profit margins remained consistently healthy due to the favorable economics of offshore services delivery. Wipro's stock price appreciated by more than 2,000% during the decade, making Azim Premji one of Asia's wealthiest individuals and creating substantial value for thousands of employees who owned company shares. More importantly, Wipro's success had demonstrated that Indian companies could compete successfully in global technology markets, inspiring a generation of entrepreneurs and establishing India as a preferred destination for technology services outsourcing. By the year 2000, Wipro stood as one of the most remarkable corporate transformation stories in business history. The company that had started as Western India Vegetable Products in 1945 was now recognized globally as Wipro Technologies, serving Fortune 500 companies across multiple continents and employing tens of thousands of software engineers, consultants, and technology professionals. Azim Premji's journey from a 21-year-old college dropout to one of the world's most respected technology leaders exemplified the power of visionary thinking, strategic courage, and unwavering commitment to excellence. The numbers told an extraordinary story of growth and transformation, from $2 million in annual revenues when Premji took control in 1966 to more than $1 billion by 2000, representing a compound annual growth rate that few companies in any industry have ever achieved. But the impact extended far beyond financial metrics. Wipro's success had helped establish India as a global technology powerhouse, created tens of thousands of high-paying jobs, and demonstrated that Indian companies could build world-class capabilities in the most sophisticated industries. The company's commitment to quality, innovation, and customer service had earned recognition from industry analysts, business publications, and customers worldwide, establishing Wipro as a trusted partner for companies seeking to leverage technology for competitive advantage. As the new millennium began, Wipro was positioned to capitalize on the continued growth of the global technology services market, with the infrastructure, capabilities, and reputation needed to serve the world's largest corporations, while maintaining the entrepreneurial spirit and commitment to excellence that had driven its remarkable transformation from cooking oil to cutting-edge technology services.